Hey, Imaginarium family. This is Micky Scottbey Jones, the Justice Doula, and I wanted to share some thoughts about the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. with you today. As you know, I'm the Justice Doula, but I also consider myself a creative extremist for love. And that comes from Dr. King's letter from a Birmingham jail. And if you haven't read it, definitely read it. You can find it online. And this letter was written while he was in jail in Birmingham as a response to a letter that had been published by several clergy in the Birmingham newspaper. And Dr. King, what's so remarkable is Dr. King wrote this without any books or papers, without the internet, with nothing for him to look at. He did it completely from memory and actually wrote it on scraps of paper and snuck it out to his secretary, who then was able to kind of recompose it. So shout out to his secretary. I need to find out her name. I don't remember at the moment, but was actually able to sort through those scraps and put this letter together. And one of my favorite passages, and where I get this creative extremist part for love, he says, "But as I continue to think about the matter, I gradually gained a bit of satisfaction from being considered an extremist. Was not Jesus an extremist in love? Love your enemies, bless those that curse you, pray for them that despitefully use you. Was not Amos an extremist for justice? Let justice roll down like waters, and righteousness like a mighty stream. Was not Paul an extremist for the gospel of Jesus Christ? I bear in my body the marks of the Lord Jesus. Was not Martin Luther an extremist? Here I stand. I can do none other, so help me God. Was John Bunyan not an extremist? I will stay in jail to the end of my days before I make a butchery of my conscience. Was not Abraham Lincoln an extremist? This nation cannot survive half slave and half free. Was not Thomas Jefferson an extremist? We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. So the question is not whether we will be extremists, but what kind of extremist will we be? Will we be an extremist for hate, or will we be an extremist for love? Will we be extremists for the preservation of injustice, or will we be extremists for the cause of justice?" In that dramatic scene on Calvary's Hill, 3 men were crucified. We must not forget that all 3 were crucified for the same crime, the crime of extremism. 2 were extremists for immorality and thusly fell below their environment. The other, Jesus Christ, was an extremist for love, truth, and goodness, and thereby rose above his environment. So after all, maybe the South, the nation, and the world are in dire need of creative extremists. So that's a